what's ironic about this is I actually have a Gilmore Girls shirt. Like it says Luke's on it, and I didn't even wear it for this. Hi, howdy, welcome back to Maddie's Book Corner. My name is Maddie. This is my book corner. Today I am recommending you books based on your favorite Gilmore Girls character. If you're out on the road. So we've got our coffee here. It's actually tea, don't tell Lorelai. And we've got a big old stack of books. Wobbling, wobbling, wobbling. Obviously this list isn't exhaustive because there are so many Gilmore Girls characters. There are so many, so I kind of just chose 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I chose 12, kind of like the main ones, or the ones I could think of books for. If I missed your favorite character, I'm sorry. And just disclaimer, I don't have one for Kirk, but that's because I'm not sure Kirk knows how to read. First up, we have Paris Geller. We know Paris. We love Paris. We're mildly terrified of Paris. Paris Geller is one of Rory's closest friends. Kind of not by choice. They kind of are proximity friends. They kind of have been forced to be friends, but they do have this really unique bond, and they are there for each other when the other really needs it. So Paris is very intense, very competitive, very driven. So the book that I chose for Paris is Killing November by Adriana Mather. And the reason I chose Killing November is because this is a school of strategists. So they're all very intense. Classes range from knife throwing and poisons to the art of deception. And I just feel like Paris would do so well at a strategist school. She would just excel in a place where she could use her evil little brain. And also, this is a duology. The second one is called Hunting November, and they're both really good. If you like boarding school stories with a mystery twist, definitely recommend this. I think I'm actually gonna do a video about books I recommend in that micro genre of boarding school stories with a mystery twist. But Paris Geller, Killing November. The next character I have a book recommendation for, and my personal favorite Gilmore Girls character, is Luke Danes. Luke Danes is a grumpy but extremely loyal and lovable diner owner who is actually Lorelai's love interest. Thank God. If you're like me, that slow burn made you want to throw something across the room until finally they got together, and it was like the most vindicating experience of your life. In the vein of grumpy sunshine dynamics, the book that I would recommend for you if your favorite character is Luke is, oh my gosh, When in Rome by Sarah Adams. So I love the grumpy sunshine dynamic in this book because the guy, actually, I think he owns a pie shop, so that makes it even more perfect. Oh my gosh, look at this brain doing things, thinking of stuff. The grumpy sunshine dynamic in this book is so cute because it kind of feels like they're in on a little joke together, and she, the female main character, just loves riling him up, which is so Luke and Lorelai coded. I definitely recommend this one if Luke is your favorite character. Lorelai Gilmore is a funny single mom with a heart of gold. Does that sound like anybody to you? Well, to me it sounds like Finley Donovan from Finley Donovan is Killing It. Finley and Lorelai aren't carbon copies of each other, but I definitely would say that they remind me of each other, and that if you really just love Lorelai's personality, then I think you'll really connect with Finley. Next up is our main girl, Rory Gilmore. Whether you love her or hate her, you have to acknowledge that she is one of the most iconic characters in all of television. She makes some interesting choices, but she's also very smart and very loyal to the people that she loves. She has a little bit of like gifted kid burnout syndrome, which, you know, on my most recent watch through of Gilmore Girls, it just really struck me like how much I kind of pity Rory, because her whole life she's been told, you are the best, you are the brightest, you're gonna go places, you cannot fail. So that when she actually does fail, she kind of spirals. So what does that remind me of? Tweet Cute by Emma Lord. The main female character in this is also struggling by being the pressure of being the best and the smartest and just succeeding all the time, never failing. Her family owns some sort of burger chain, and she gets into a Twitter war with a rival sandwich shop, and then she starts having feelings for this rival sandwich shop, their son, whose name is Jack. The main character's name is Pepper. Their ship name is Pepper Jack. That's the cutest. I was so pleasantly surprised by this book, and the main character definitely reminds me of Rory. If your favorite Gilmore Girl character is Miss Patty, first of all, interesting take. Second of all, I would recommend Once More with Feeling by Alyssa Sussman. Miss Patty is obsessed with showbiz, and so is this book. This book features two people who are in love and like low-key toxic about it, and I just think Miss Patty would eat this up, and then she would have some very inappropriate comments to make. If your favorite character is Suki, then I highly recommend Sourdough by Robin Sloan. This book has such a appreciation and reverence for food and also for making it, for the artistry and the heart that goes into making food, specifically sourdough, which is why it's called Sourdough. And the main character actually sort of leaves a soulless corporate life in pursuit of making sourdough. And I think that Suki would just love this story. I think she would then make a bajillion different types of sourdough and force Lorelai to try all of them. If your favorite Gilmore Girl character is Jess, who is simultaneously frustrating and endearing, I would recommend The 7.5 Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle by Stuart Turton. So the reason I recommend this book is because it just sort of reminds me, it feels like something either Jess would love or write, and it's hard to explain. Just the thesis of this book and the way that it's written, it just feels very Jess-coded to me. I think that he would appreciate it for its subversion of genre. I think that he would appreciate it for its theme. And when I was looking to find a recommendation based on Jess, I looked at this and I was like, oh, this feels like something almost that he would write, you know, because we know from the series that he does want to be a writer. So this book is a mystery with sort of a subversive twist, and I really highly recommend it. It starts out and you have no idea what's going on, and then once you figure it out, it's like, if your favorite Gilmore Girls character is Dean, why? I would recommend Therapy and also The Unexpected Everything by Morgan Matson. The Unexpected Everything is at its heart about first love and about that feeling of first love in summer and like figuring out what you're gonna do with your life and all of these like coming of age themes that I feel like are very Dean coded. And because Dean was, whether you like him or not, Rory's first love. Emily Gilmore is one of the most interesting characters in this show. She is so fascinating and at times horrible and at times sympathetic. Watching her journey and character growth and also character regression throughout the course of the series is honestly one of my favorite parts of rewatching the show. So the book I would recommend for Emily is The Nightingale by Kristen Hanna. I actually am currently lending out my copy, so I don't have it, but I'll put it up here so that you can see it. Yeah, I think that this is a book that Emily would read with her friends and then discuss it over tea and sassy comments out in her garden. If your favorite character is Richard Gilmore, I would recommend The Pillars of the Earth by Ken Follett because it just seems like something he would read. It's historical, it's sweeping, it's grand, it spans the course of years. It's about a monk who is trying to build a cathedral and he wants that to be his lasting legacy. He wants to be remembered after he dies for this cathedral, and so it's very immersive, very historical. I found myself like it's compulsively readable, even though it's very heavy and very much like not really inside my normal comfort zone. I'm not a big historical fiction girly, but I really found myself immersed in this story, and I think Richard would love it and recommend it to Rory and want to talk about it with her. If your favorite Gilmore Girls character is Logan, side eye, but also I would recommend East of Eden by John Steinbeck. East of Eden is pretentious enough that I think it would be Logan's favorite book. I don't know if we canonically know what Logan's favorite book is, probably, and if you remember it, comment it down below. Here is a work in which Steinbeck created his most mesmerizing characters and explored his most enduring themes. The mystery of identity, the inexplicability of love, and the murderous consequences of love's absence. Logan would eat that up. I'm sorry, but it's true. Also, you can see that I like tried to read it. I picked it up and the bookmark is on the first page. I read the first page and was like, we're gonna save that for later. Last but certainly not least, if your favorite character is Lane, sweet Lane, we love her. She's so driven, so devoted to her music. And in that vein, I would recommend Daisy Jones and the Six by Taylor Jenkins Reid. Now, a lot of people have heard of this book, but I just think Lane would love it. Like, she would say it's so rock and roll, because it is the fictional account of a band that is very reminiscent of Fleetwood Mac, and I just think Lane would love that. If Lane were ever to pick up a book, it would be this one. Do you agree with my recommendations? If you disagree, which books would you have chosen instead? If specifically you can think of a book that Kirk would actually be able to read, comment it down below. I feel like I'm like holding the cup, but you know, you don't really hold a cup at this level, but it has to be in, I'm holding it here because I want it in frame, but also it looks so unnatural. This is how I hold cups all the time. This is natural cup holding activities. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you're having a blessed day wherever you are. See you next time. Oh my gosh, you know who I forgot? Max Medina.
Lorelai, it's Max Medina. Max Medina.